What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and here we are on a Friday live stream talking about Gotham Knights. It was originally supposed to be Evil Dead the game, and trust me, I wanted it to be, but the game doesn't exactly work right now. So I thought, well, Gotham Knights was obviously a big deal, just a few days ago, and obviously we have some leftover thoughts about it. I actually have one more video. I did like 5 or 6 in a row. I think 5 on Gotham Knights. So tomorrow, I believe the last. No, actually, there will be one after that as well. I want to talk about some different stuff with Gotham Knights, talking about if we're being too hard on it, and then talking about one other topic on Gotham Knights that'll keep hidden for now. And then we'll go back to every so often we'll talk about the game. But it's exciting. It's exciting that we actually got it in general. It's exciting the week that we had, even outside of Gotham Knights. This week was freaking packed, and all in the week that the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial was off. So they picked a great week. Hopefully now every news story dies down completely starting literally next week, because I'm going to be busy watching the trial 7.5 hours a day starting on Monday. Get ready to destroy that stuff. So hello, everybody. Man, that Gotham Knights, huh? So I have conflicting thoughts on it overall. I know, based off the comments of my own videos, I know that the community seems pretty split on it as well, and that's why I wanted to make a video talking about, are we being too mean on it, or too mean to it? Are we being, or does it deserve that kind of stuff? And I have some conflicting thoughts on that. We can talk a little bit about that in this video. I don't mind a lot of the stuff that we saw, just some of it really stood out in a negative way. I think something like Nightwing flipping like 5,000 times is very annoying. I know one thing that's actually funny is I didn't mind the disappearing what's the thing that he's like, the glider thing that Nightwing has? The fact that it just completely appears and disappears out of thin air. I mean, there's been worse things in games. I know a lot of people don't like that. And some people don't like Red Hood's magical stepping, but one thing that I think is confirmed is that they all do have a grapple. They all have a grapple as their base way of getting from point A to point B, and then I think they each have like a unique special way of getting from point A to point B, and so that's where the hang glider and stuff like that comes in. So that'll be fun to see how that stuff works. Thank you, KJ Games. I appreciate it. Shad the God, what's up? I don't like Red Hood having magic powers that make him walk on thin air. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I have more of a problem with that than I do of Nightwing's hang glider or whatever you call it. But, that wasn't the main thing that stood out to me. The main things that stood out to me was the combat seems iffy. Obviously, the developer that was playing the game was trying to do... I don't think they were very bad, but I don't think they were like god awful as if they've never played a game before. I think they were purposely trying to get specific things pulled off in the presentation, and they couldn't get it, and they'd have to like reset themselves and do it again. And they didn't cut out any of the moments, when they were resetting, which made it look awful, really bad. So that was just whoever really that I don't want to blame the community manager, but whoever I guess went through that video and okayed it, they should be blamed for that. Something to know: the team that made Arkham Origins is gone. The team making Gotham Knights is a bunch of reject Ubisoft as well. So to not be too mean to them, I don't know, if they're rejects of other studios, but what I do know is I very much agree with, like, the team that made Origins, most, if not all of them, are gone. There are some. In fact, I think several of the leads were in Origins, but overall, most of the team that's there now, and even if they don't want to confirm it, I mean, you look at it, it's been 9 years. They've had canceled games, 2 to 3 canceled games. There is no way that most of that team is still there, the team that made Origins. Most of them have left and been replaced by other people. So, yeah, that's a thing, too, when people say, in terms of benefit of the doubt, should we give them benefit of the doubt? Do you factor that Arkham Origins is actually a good game, in my opinion, right? Origins is a good game. Does that factor into how we should feel about Gotham Knights? Yes and no. I think we maybe are being too rough on it because Origins is a good game, but at the same time, how many people are even still there? We don't really know the actual talent level that still exists at that studio. If it was Origin's entire team that was working on this, I think a benefit of the doubt would be more warranted. But we don't know right now. Your hairline isn't my hair. Yeah. Well, in a few weeks, actually 2 weeks, I'm going to try a routine that's going to hopefully strengthen and grow my hair. So that's a little behind the scenes personal stuff. My hair, my hairline. Well, they said hairline, so but I assume it's hairline. Is in deep trouble. LOL. And I don't take. I think that's a valid point. That's a valid point. My hair is going, and I'm gonna fix the problem. Okay. EA has four unannounced IPs. Yeah, I'm sure have a lot. Hello, Dark Knight 4805. And the only reason I add on the numbers is because I know there's other Dark Knights on the channel. I hope this doesn't become another Avengers situation. Agreed. Like I said, I think if either of the two games look like Avengers, it's actually Suicide Squad in terms of just how they talked about it. I think they even mentioned live service with that game. Not necessarily like all live service games are the same because they're not, but they literally mentioned it. Their own version of live service is what they said, or their own model, however they worded it. But the only thing that looks like Avengers to me is some of the gameplay, but not all, and the gear. The gear obviously looks a lot like Avengers. So, it doesn't mean that they can't do it well. So, yeah. Hello, Talbot. One of the most underrated villains in Uncharted, by the way. Not the best, but one of the most underrated. What do you think about the deluxe version? So, well, you have to remind, I know what the deluxe, I forget what's in the deluxe version. But the collector's edition, I know several people that have pre-ordered the collector's edition. $300 $300. It's quite a lot of money to sink into it, but like I said, I know people who've done it, and I think the statues look awesome. Really, really good. Everything in the collector's edition, right? That one looks awesome. So I don't know if it's worth $300, but it definitely looks cool. And I will not be buying it. The only one, like Uncharted, I bought the highest edition at the time. I don't know. I don't even know what game. Kingdom Hearts 3, I think I bought a pretty expensive edition. So it depends on the game. I don't even think I'd buy I don't need those kind of things. That's not like I collect Funko Pops. That's my like collecting thing. So even like God of War Ragnarok, which I'd obviously be very interested in, I think I would just buy the normal edition even for something like that. So yeah. Hello everyone. There were a lot of mixed opinions on Gotham Knights from the Huh? Oh, there's a book that comes out the same day that Gotham Knights comes out that I don't know if it's like a making of Gotham Knights, but it's a $60 book that comes out the same day, which is interesting. Bro, you would look fire with a buzz cut. Maybe one day I'll have to maybe do it on purpose. Do you think Azrael will appear? Maybe. I mean, that's one of the biggest advantages this game has is like we still haven't seen a lot of story elements or characters that can be in it. I mean, all it takes is to announce like 2 or 3 side villains, and the internet will like explode. And if you think about it, they haven't done any of that. You know what I mean? They've done Mr. Freeze, and that's it. Like you could announce Joker 3 months before. You can announce blank Firefly, 2 months before. And I mean, you can get people pumped up just by simply announcing villains. And you can't really do that for a lot of other games. So they do have some things to their advantage. Whilst everyone seems to be comparing Gotham Knights to Avengers, I'm getting more Guardians of the Galaxy vibes. Also, Red Hood seems to play more like Star-Lord. He does, actually. His gameplay style looks a lot like Star-Lord. The next reveal for Gotham Knights, you need people who can actually play the game, as Nightwing's gameplay was decent, but whoever played Red Hood both times just struggled. Yeah, no, I mentioned that in tomorrow's video. I think a valid, if you want to if you're rooting for the game, which I am, by the way, like I want the game to be good. You could yes, there's the Avengers route, but I mean, this game could be a surprise hit, which is really what Guardians is. Guardians didn't look good, in my opinion, overall going in. The gameplay looked awful, in my opinion. I was not a fan of the gameplay. I like the visuals. Obviously, like Eidos Montreal, they're a good team. Like, I know the history of them. So it was like, all right, well, I'll give it a chance. And then when that game came out, the gameplay was actually really good. And then everything else was like miles above what you thought in terms of character, story, emotion. So yeah, I hope Gotham Knights is like that, where, yeah, gameplay doesn't look spectacular. Maybe it's the people playing it. I would say, personally, the gameplay, even without a bad person playing it, still doesn't look amazing. But again, I didn't think that with Guardians either. I really did. I thought Guardians' gameplay looked awful. And I said that in videos. And then when the game came out, and I got it, or they gave me the review code, and I reviewed it, I made sure to apologize in that review and say the gameplay is actually astoundingly good. And so that's, that's fair. The clunkiness of the combat will remain. It will only look smoother by release. You're right, but that's true. The thing is just, though, does it kind of like magically like snap and it works? You know what I mean? It doesn't have to. Some gameplay doesn't look good, and then you play it and it actually is fine. So, I'm not making like excuses, or I'm not, saying it's like a for sure thing. It could very easily come out and be garbage. But again, like, we've had examples of it going both ways. Dark Nightmare, what's up? I hope it's good and handles at launch, since Gotham Knights is confirmed, not a live service. Right. Yeah. I mean, hopefully there's no server issues like Evil Dead. Batman and Robin should be fine, as we've seen the gameplay, and imagine it not be different, since they really should do like a beta or some sort of demo for Gotham Knights. That'd be good. Or just give it to a couple influencers. Wink, wink. I think that'd be kind of fun. Elden Ring did that. They let people play. They gave it out to a group of people. Let people play 10 hours. Give it to a couple of us. 5 hours. We'll promote the living daylights out of that thing, right? The statues do look cool, but $300 is too much. Yeah, they definitely look awesome. I would not spend that money, but that's just me. I'm stingy with money. Not only is the combat embarrassing, the AI is incredibly dumb. If you watch it in slow motion, they never attack the player. Yeah. The enemy attacks, though, in games in general need like an overhaul, like in the vast scheme of things. Nothing was more evident with like Assassin's Creed, right? That was kind of the thing that really pushed it, where it's like AI can be really bad. Like, you can imagine AI doing some amazing things. The Last of Us Part 2 is pretty okay in terms of AI, though. When do you think Sony will do their events? Well, I mentioned it in the video this morning, but actually, as of a couple hours ago, the recent rumor is that the first week of June, there may be a state of play to one of their games. So take it with a grain of salt. Don't know if you realize, but it took so long to beat up 4 Guys. Yeah. Thoughts on Season 2 of Halo Infinite? I don't like it. I mean, I don't like it in the sense that I'm playing it, and it's like the same as what I was playing in Season 1. I don't think it's massively better or worse. I don't think it feels like an overhaul of a season, like a new season. So, yeah, I'm not impressed. But hopefully Season 3 with Forge mode and all that stuff is better. I want Riddler to appear and not be treated as a joke. Agreed. Hopefully that happens. I appreciate the gear system video you did, as I have no clue on how all the craft stuff, etc. works in RPGs. Yeah, and I mean, to be fair to the gear, and people made some good points, what's the difference with numbers versus like a bar? And like, that is fair. And I mean, there are games. The thing with me, and I've said this before, suits. I'll call them suits. I mean, they'll call them gear, right? But for me, I'm never one to do it. So like, you have to take my opinion with like my own bias and know that I'm not speaking for like everybody. When I play games, I keep either like the base look of the character, or I find like one suit or whatever, and that's kind of it. Like, I never really change up. Spider-Man, I mean this, like, I do mean this. I don't say this as a like to make Sony feel good, or to make Insomnia, or like as a PlayStation fanboy thing. Spider-Man PS4 was the first game I actually tried and played for extended times, like all the suits. Like, I changed them, I would experiment with them. That was the first game. I'm even playing right now. I'm 40 and a half hours into Horizon Forbidden West. I had the base outfit that it starts Aloy as, and then I got like the purple, like the rare, super rare, whatever the version of purple is, a costume, and that's it. Like, I could switch other purple costumes in that are like similar specs, but I don't. I truly don't care about that stuff. So again, to be fair, I'm not really I don't want to switch outfits regardless. And a game like Gotham Knights is going to make you switch consistently, because you're always going to want to get the best gear. And that's what Avengers did with the different things, and like gauntlets and whatever, shin pads and whatever Avengers had, right? So yeah. But that's just me. I don't do that. Don't even talk about how long it took Red Hood to beat that Brute. Well, the Brute fight, what did they call it? The something Guardian, I think was what it was called. I mean, that was like the worst part of, like, that's when it was very noticeable that the person playing was bad, was during that fight. I remember seeing white circles when enemies attacked and red circles when big enemies attacked. This probably means that you can do counter basic attacks. And yeah, there was definitely a counter system that they didn't want to show for some reason. I think they want to keep Joker secret. I would. Honestly, I would. Because that'd be, how often can you even really do that, right? Joker's, say, in your game or movie or whatever. Joker's in your game and you don't announce him and people just kind of find it out naturally. You don't really have that luxury very often. I apologize in advance if I jinked Gotham Knights earlier on Twitter. You should be. Oh, it's $40. I saw one that said 60. Maybe it was in like Canadian dollars. I think that's the same book though. I'm still looking forward to playing this game anyway. Hopefully it gets surprised like Guardians game. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm at the end of the day, I'm getting the game day one. I mean, let's be real. I hope that I get the code early. I hope that they allow me to play it a few weeks early. But like I'm getting it, one way or another. Like it will be in my PlayStation library. It's just I'm worried about different elements of it, but that's fine. I'm worried about a lot of things in life. Agreed, Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the best comic book games. It really is. I'm not a fan of Red Hood's voice. Yeah, the voice acting didn't really stand out to me because I was really trying to analyze like the second-to-second gameplay, but the voice acting wasn't like killer. It was very average. I don't think it was bad. I just think it was average. One more nail in the coffin is that for Avengers and Guardians, they had very popular characters, and it still flopped. Imagine for Gotham Knights. Well, I think Avengers killed itself because of Avengers literally died because of that. Guardians, I think, was also impacted by Avengers because people thought it would be like it, and there wasn't really great marketing, I would say, like hype. I would argue hype is the right word, but like push from them. There wasn't enough of that for Guardians, and then the fact that the game actually turned out to be like Game of the Year, it was kind of like too late for a lot of people. So I don't think the sales of Guardians is not really Guardians' fault. I wouldn't blame that. But in Gotham Knights, though, DC is different. I mean, I think Gotham Knights can sell 2, 3, 4 million units just by being Gotham Knights. I really do. Without it even being good or bad, I think it'll sell a couple million on its own. I believe that. Oh, thank you, Eddie. Is it too late to change the traversal for these characters? I get they want to differ each character, but come on, go back to them all gliding somehow. Well, I don't know if you saw, I said it earlier in this video, it seems like, and I don't think it's like fully confirmed, but I believe it's hinted that they do all have grappling hooks, so you'll be able to grapple and like jump from it. In terms of gliding, yeah, I don't know if any of them can actually glide, right? I don't actually know. But I think they all have a grapple hook, and they each have their own special way of getting around. Red Hood walking on air, Nightwing hang glider, stuff like that. So that'll be interesting there's no turning back that. I mean, like that's not going to change. I love the map. Yeah, the map looked pretty okay. It looked like it can get filled, but it didn't look like too overpopulated in that moment. I'm sure it'll be more filled than that when the game comes out. Combat looks like Guardians of the Galaxy with Red Hood. It did. It definitely did. I want some detective work. I think there'll be some I think a lot of the story missions will revolve around detective aspects. Graphics have changed exponentially over the years. Meanwhile, gameplay is literally the exact same. Yeah, that's the age-old complaint with gaming, right? The fact that games get bigger and bigger and bigger. And Sean Layden, right, talked about it before he left Sony. They cost more and more money, takes more and more years. And he didn't even mention gameplay, but I really think that's a fundamental argument and thing that people talk about as well with complaining about the game industry. We put and granted, I put a lot of stuff on visuals too. Like I put a lot of stock on it, so I guess I'm partially to blame. But we do put a lot of stock on visuals, and I think that's okay because I do think, you want to be teleported into a new world. Games do look better than they ever have. There's a lot of absolutely amazing looking games out there, but some of the gameplay has really lacked innovation is probably the right word, right? Innovative gameplay is much. I think there are some games that do it, but it's way behind, and because everything has to, I think, go towards making it bigger, making it look nicer, the texture, stuff like that. Which it's like, well, yeah, I don't want a game coming out and everything looks like garbage, but you have to sacrifice some stuff for other things, and I think right now the innovative gameplay and that kind of stuff is being sacrificed for. And I think it may only get worse, to be honest with you. Because like a GTA wanting to go into, like, say, every building, like that, I think will become so wanted that it would take away from, like, anything else you can do with that game. You know what I mean? So imagine a GTA game where you can go in every house, but then also a GTA game that's got nothing besides that, because that's kind of its main core. That's the issue. But that's a separate issue. That's a good point. I've started getting into Final Fantasy. Have you played those games? Yeah, very. I'm new to the franchise. I played 7's remake. I played 15. I played the Lightning Trilogy. Well, I watched my sister. Well, no, I played a little of it, but mainly I watched my sister play the Lightning Trilogy. I like 15, and I like 7 remake quite a bit. And I'll be getting every future Final Fantasy game as well. The Yuffie DLC. Were they on very easy? No, I don't think they were, because the enemies didn't go down very easily. So I feel like they weren't. They were probably on like a medium or normal difficulty. I bet you that's what they were doing. They need to start trying to improve that instead. Yeah. On a positive note, the civilian and thug talk seem good. Yeah. Yeah, there was some good. Like I said, there was good in that presentation. I think visually it looked pretty good, to be honest. Did Red Hood get captured in the trailer? Yeah. Well, your character gets captured, not necessarily Red Hood. I am going to watch Obi-Wan and, I guess, Stranger Things. I'm definitely more excited for Obi-Wan, though. Jenny, Hugh, and Rocco, and the 3 characters coming to Nickelodeon All-Stars. Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool. I'm glad that they're still supporting that game. Just going to say this, those who felt the combat took a long time and whatnot, the guy didn't play that great, and experienced hands, it would probably feel better. Yeah, I agree. I think it would. I think just by having a better player, it's probably noticeably better, but I just don't know if it's like that next step to being like an incredible gameplay thing. I don't know about that. Well, like I said, I think the world of Gotham Knights is going to fill up more. I just don't think they're showing everything. Sony frustrates me with how quiet they are. They'll be loud again, don't worry. Have you seen the Beyond suit style? Was that in the thing, the gameplay? I don't know. It would be awesome to see Joker, mainly to see what his dialogue is with Barbara and Jason, but another part of me doesn't want him in the game. So my stance on Joker has actually never changed, but that's a good point. Your point is kind of my point. My stance has never changed. I want to see him simply because we've never seen a Joker in a game like this where Batman is gone. Whether or not Batman's actually dead, he probably believes he's dead, or at least he's literally not present. So I want to see, what does Joker look like when there is no Batman, right? What are the conversations like with his apprentices, when he's talking? Is he depressed? You know what I mean? So that kind of free range to do whatever you really want with Joker in like a new landscape. I think that's enough for him to be like, that's enough to warrant putting him in the game, honestly. Yes. Let's see. Why didn't they just do a follow-up to Origin? Yeah. Well, they were going to do the Damian Wayne game. Remember, the word on the street, I believe the word was this. For sure, they were doing a Wonder Woman game at some point. That was canceled. I'm pretty sure, for sure, they were doing a Suicide Squad game at some point. That was canceled. They also may have been doing a Superman game that was canceled, but that third one is iffy. Then they were definitely doing a Damian Wayne game, which would have been, like a fourth game, Arkham Knight, or I guess fifth, right, because you count Origins, so and the next game. And that was canceled, and that went directly in. Then when that was canceled, they took it, and they morphed it into Gotham Knights. So that's kind of the history. And I think the order may go Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad are kind of back and forth. So, I mean, they have worked on quite a bit that just hasn't worked out. So, yeah. I think it was a Gladiator. Yeah. But for the 5th time, Joker. Well, you don't have to make Joker just a side character. You just make him a side character. Didn't the Batman movie hide the Joker? Yeah. Yeah, but there were pretty good rumors if you looked into it. So I pre-ordered the deluxe edition already. Nice. Oh my god, I'm so behind on. I'm sorry on the comments. Yeah, the Belfry thing is going to be interesting to see, like, if you're actually excited about going there, because I can tell you I'm not excited to go to the Belfry. It's just a place to swap characters and to change from day to night. If you remember, that was the thing they confirmed towards the beginning, that basically, like, to reset the day or the night, you go to the Belfry, switch characters, it goes to, like, the next night and you play. So we'll see if they make it feel... Gotham Knights ain't selling 1 million, I can guarantee that. Oh, I'd take the bet on you easily. Gotham Knights will easily sell over 1 million. I mean, not even a question. Not even a question. I think they'll take the criticism and fix certain stuff in the game. It's just a demo, not a final product. I agree, but they're 5 months away. The substantial changes that people may want them to make is impossible. So, can they fix some things? Yes. Can they fix, like, core issues? No. I don't think that's... Yeah, the spoilers for Obi-Wan are abysmally bad. So, yeah, I'm not happy about those. So, and if they happen, well, you'll see some videos. What makes you so interested in this game? Well, I love the Arkham games. They're one of my favorite franchises of all time. I've been around the Arkham franchise since Asylum. So there's that. I love games, and this is a game. And also, I think the fact, to not lie about it, like the community, like, covering the rumored next Batman game for years on the channel, and, grew quite a bit because of that. It kind of like almost was like built into my DNA because of it. I've never put on like a fake character or anything, or like pretended in any way. It comes from I love the Arkham games. And I do love DC. I love Marvel. But I don't know much about, like, in terms of comics and stuff. I don't know almost anything. And I've been very clear with that kind of stuff. I just love the Arkham games. I love Batman. And I loved Origins. So we'll see how it goes. Gotham is dark with neon accents. That's true. It's a dark... Like, they don't really pay for, like, lighting there. I don't know. Really, in terms of the game's mixed response, I don't think it's all negative, because I've seen plenty of positive on Gotham Knights. I think it's just kind of what circles people put themselves in, to be honest. It'll definitely sell 1 million. I think, honestly, well, here's the thing, because they're not necessarily rumors, but there is talks that I have seen that maybe Microsoft goes after Gotham Knights for a Game Pass game. So if it does that, it would lose the majority of Microsoft sales, right? So then it would only have PlayStation and PC. How many can it sell on PlayStation and PC? I think easily 3-4 million, like on a bad day. And if the game's really good, it could sell more. And it would sell more if it's not on Game Pass, because then if you're on Xbox, you got to buy it. Honestly, if it's on Game Pass, I may have to get it on Game Pass. Why spend, if they don't give me the code, right? And I'm buying it, and it's $70. Why would I not do it on Game Pass when it's $15 a month? I'm doing it there. Why would I spend $70 on PlayStation? So I think I would not. I wouldn't buy the game. I guess I'm still supporting them because Microsoft gives them a set amount of money, and they agree to put the game on Game Pass. So we'll see how that goes. But I've seen chitter chatter on that. Hogwarts Legacy is looking increasingly like it could be delayed into 2023. Funny you mention it. I made a video that'll go up tomorrow talking about that. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok saying the game is mid and goofy. Oh my god. I wouldn't doubt that. I also don't like TikTok. TikTok is doing God's work when it comes to the Johnny Depp trial, but besides that, I have a deep resentment towards that towards that platform just in general. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a Red Hood using his mystic leap. Oh my god. That's funny. I don't know who's gonna, like, Red Hood didn't look that, well, he did look like Star-Lord in terms of, like, the fighting style. I wonder, were there people that wanted to main him? Because I've always said I'm going to main Batgirl. Like, Batgirl is the person I'm going to play the majority of the time. I'm going to play all four to see how they, perform. but I'm going to probably main Batgirl. Is there anybody that was going to main Nightwing or Red Hood that now after seeing it won't? I can tell you, if I was going to say that I was, out of the two, Nightwing really was like off-putting to me. Like, I don't want to do the 50 flips that he does in between every move. It's annoying. It's unnecessary. So if I was going to main him, I think I'd pull out, of that declaration. But I never said that, so it is what it is. The game has more dislikes than likes on most videos. Well, again, though, it depends on what videos. I feel like I'm worried about the game and I have criticisms of it, but I mean, if you're going to come at it from a place of just hating it just to hate it, that's different than criticizing it. I think there's yeah, and likes to dislikes is odd because like you can only go based off their videos. You can't go based off like somebody like mine because I'm talking about specific parts of the game. So you'd have to go off of like trailers, and trailers I think have more likes than dislikes. So I don't know. It's Batman's world. People love these characters just as much, if not more. Yeah, I don't think Batman's dead. I've said that since the first day that DC Fandom 2020. I said he's not dead. With that being said, if he was dead, I don't think it screws the game. I think you can have characters in the Batman universe lead a game. I don't think it's impossible. It's not. You know what I mean? You just have to do it right. Same thing with Marvel. Like you don't like Spider-Man doesn't have to be, he is the biggest one, but he doesn't have to be. You can have other characters. I think from the jump, Gotham Knights was going to fail because we as a player base were spoiled with the Arkham series and we set the bar so high. Yeah, and I don't want to even put that blame on us. I mean, it's almost them. They set the bar. We played it. We set the bar, I guess, in our minds, but it was based off of us playing it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I never expected Gotham Knights to be better than like the best Arkham game, but I don't know. What we've seen to me hasn't even been close. I would say that like I'm not super anti Gotham Knights. I know people that are, and I know people who love, who are into it all over the place in the spectrum. I like what I've seen generally enough to obviously still get the game and all that stuff. I still have positives to say about it, but I don't think it's ever in my mind come close to like, oh my God, this is the next Arkham game. And not Arkham because Batman. Arkham is in like, oh, just the quality is there. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. I hear there's a complaint that games aren't games anymore. They feel like virtual LARPing, where it's just for story and visuals and not gameplay. What say you? Oh. Well, that's a tough one. Virtual LARPing, what's that, live action role playing? Where it's just for story and visuals and not for gameplay. Yeah, well, like I said earlier, I don't think gameplay is being pushed as much as it can. I actually prefer, I will say this, I prefer characters and story over gameplay. But gameplay actually drives games, okay? I think it is easier to put up with a bad story. I've always thought this. If you had, like, there's the two tiers, story and characters, and maybe even, and maybe visuals and gameplay. You can have bad of these and good gameplay, and it'll carry. You'll be able to actually probably go through the game, I'd argue. But if you have horrible gameplay, even if you have good story, good characters, even if it looks good, but the gameplay is absolutely awful, then I don't think the game holds up as much as the other way around. So I would generally say that. I'm trying to think of like an example. Like the Order 1886 had really good visuals. Everything else kind of sucked. The general lore was good, but it was too short. Gameplay was mediocre. Story and characters weren't enough. Just because it looked good, didn't do anything. You know what I mean? It did good for marketing, but not for the actual game. So yeah, that's a good question though. That's a deep question. There's no dislikes on social media anymore. Well, there is a way to still see dislikes, and I'll just leave it there. We want something better, not different. I would take something different and better. Honestly, I don't care if it's different. I don't. Like say Uncharted. I love Uncharted. If they were to make a new Uncharted game, I would take it because it's more Uncharted. But if they were to make a game that's not Uncharted and it's better than Uncharted, that's cool. You know, I mean, like I'm okay with that. I may not be okay with it immediately, You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is foreign to me. It's different. You have to learn to like it again because, when you have a game with characters or a universe or a property that you already know, it's easier because you already know it than a new one. But it could be better. I don't know. Hello, Jack. There's no addition to see. Oh, there's an addition to see dislikes in YouTube. I didn't want to say it. Only comic nerds know Nightwing. I know who Nightwing is, and I'm not a comic nerd. Not after that gameplay. You see the gameplay? He was bad. I don't know if anyone noticed there was a shot with different crafting materials, and there were logos on them. One was from the teaser 3 years ago. Ooh, I didn't. I saw and one was definitely the court logo. I saw the logos, but I didn't really think too much into it. That's a good eye. That is a good eye. Oh, my God. Should I buy Hogwarts Legacy if I don't know anything about Harry Potter? I haven't watched movies or read books. Yes, I think so. Hogwarts Legacy, an open world magic game with spells and stuff. If you like the gameplay, I think it's. If you like open world stuff, I think it's gonna be fine. You can't get the YouTube dislike thing on mobile. I like how this has become a YouTube extension thing. I don't think we're supposed to talk about it, guys. You're supposed to keep it on the down low. They don't want to be spotted, remember? That's how we keep it around. Have you already discussed the move they did to drop to last gen? I hate it 5 months. Yeah, so I made a video on that. I'm not a fan at all. I think people are getting rather confused because I saw, like, Jay did a video that blew up. That talked about how much he hated it. I did a video, and I think the thing I noticed with the people talking about it, there's big confusion with, like, I'm okay with it only being on next gen, and I think he is too. The issue is promising that it's on all and then taking that away 5 months before the game. That is the only issue to me. That's the only thing to get mad at. And I've seen people say, "Oh, I think I saw it in his video." Like, oh, you're so entitled to expect the thing on all the systems. No, I mean, they said it was going to be on all the systems. So that's it. That's boiled down. It's as simple as that. I actually want games only on next gen. Okay, so I have no issues with that. Do I think this game will be helped by it? Not even really, to be honest with you. I think other games are helped more than a game like this in the situation that this game is. But the fact is, you promise it from the first trailer when you first showed it. You promised it all the way back. And yes, I understand things happen. I'm sure things happen. And I wouldn't even doubt, the excuse that, like, they didn't have the resources or last gen was slowing them down in development. I actually would buy that. I don't think they're lying about that. But it's still, like, not a good look. It's just not a good look to do something like that because factually there are people that you're screwing over. You know what I mean? That's it. That I truly, you know what I mean? There's nothing else to it. People that don't agree with what Jay said or what I said, I don't think they actually listened to what we said, at least me. Yeah, because like I said, I don't mind it. I actually prefer it being only on next gen. But the fact is, you promised it on, last. So that's my opinion. A dire wolf. I really lost track of where I was. Is there a dire wolf on my side? You guys, you figure it out. Oh, that's my dog. How much do you think the gameplay will be polished at release from the... I think it'll be somewhat more I thought it was like a cup holder or whatever. No, it was Luna. She was walking over. Oh. Well, whatever. How much do you think I already said that. I think it'll be decently polished, but it won't be... if you expect, like, fundamental changes to that gameplay by launch, not happening. People like the Bat family more than Batman? No. Again, I'm in the mindset that I understand which one is more popular, but I don't think that rules out that you can't make a Bat family game because they're not as popular. I think you still can make a game. Does that make sense? I fully understand they're not as popular. Just like making a Morbius movie on its own, is fine. You know what I mean? Like, you can do it. Now, obviously, how it went was not fine, but You know what I mean? Didn't say. People are just. Guys, we're just arguing back and forth. There's plenty of major comics where Joker isn't the main villain. Yeah, like I said, I don't think Joker has to be the main villain. He won't be, actually. He won't be. I always felt Gotham City was set in London because of the old Gothic Victorian architecture, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased. Well, like I said, they just don't pay for their city lights. They're too busy paying the police officers to fight the massive crime. How does that city does it get government funding? Because it's such a poorly. And, shouldn't the mayors just consistently be fired from Gotham? It's the city is just, a dump. You have, the world's richest person that lives there, but you also have, crime rates that are, the biggest in the entire world. Isn't it embarrassing to be in Gotham? Or is it, but if you're in the superhero world, they're all like that. Well, yeah, Chicago. We won't get into Chicago in real life, but you should kind of be embarrassed if you're in certain positions of some of these places. It's kind of funny. Do you think they will reference other heroes in the DC universe? Well, they already referenced Justice League, so yes. I think they could do a Teen Titans thing. I believe that Gotham Knights will be hugely underrated, mainly because of WB's reputation of origins. Yeah, I think so. I think it could be. Like I said, I'm not ruling that out. I'm not here to hate on it, just to hate. You know what I mean? I'll call out what I don't like, and they're all just my opinions. But I wish nothing but the best for. I don't want any game. Truly, I don't want any game to fail, ever. Unless they slight me or something, then I want them to fail. But they've done nothing to me, so there's no reason for me to go after them. Is that a dire? Oh, there's a dire wolf. So the answer was yes to that. Bruce is dead, and he won't come back, and if he does at this point in time, he'll ruin it. Yeah, I don't know. I think he'll come back, but I don't think that'll ruin anything, to be honest. I'm the guy who likes doing the unnecessary flips. Where's his wingsuit, though? Yeah, well, the unnecessary flips I just can't get over. But that's okay. The wingsuit, yeah. Well, I see, again, I don't know the comics, right? So I don't really know. But I did see a picture on Twitter where people were like, you could have just done this. And they showed him with, the flying. It's, light blue, right? It's, the suit that's got, the wing flap kind of things. And it's yeah, oh, my God. It's in the canon or it's in the lore that he has that stuff, and they didn't do it. So I actually did see that, even though I don't know much about it. Is the Gotham Knights video on their channel getting ratioed on the gameplay reveal? I can't see the dislikes. All right, well, let's look. I don't think it is. I know my videos aren't. But again, you can't really judge other people's. All right, let's look at DC's. Oh. It's 22,000 upvotes, 18,000 downvotes. So it actually is pretty bad. It's not awful. It could be worse, but that's definitely not what you would like. What else is there? Let's see. I mean, there's just a lot of. Everybody's using the same picture too. Is funny. Let's see. DC fandom. So that's the newest one. 22,000 up, 18,000 down. The Court of Owls story. 87,000 up, 1.3 down. So that one is completely fine. That one is not ratioed. The world premiere trailer. This was the 4.5 minute when Bruce is narrating. 153 up, 5 down. So that's not ratioed whatsoever. So really, just this past gameplay was very bad. And let's do the official gameplay. Okay, so the one with Batgirl, the one that came out the same day as DC Fandom, 64,000 up, 5 down. So yeah, not even close. So the worst one is this gameplay. So that's important to know. That's a good question though. Why it looks like Red Hood got captured at the end of the trailer? Well, again, it's not Red Hood. It's whoever you're playing as in that moment. Warner Bros. Games Montreal should never make a Batman game in the first place. Well, I respect their right to make whatever they want. It's just, will it be good or not, you know? Did you see how many people were upset from Origins when they? Yeah, I mean Origins does have some big problems, but and it got it got attacked at the time it came out, but it's obviously aged really well. I think kind of overall on YouTube and online, Origins is aged really well. There will always be in the shadow of Rocksteady. I do agree with that, and that is kind of Warner Bros. Fault. This video has 0 dislikes. Let's change that. Nightwing has a bigger fan base than people like War Machine, Bucky, Miles Morales, etc. The Bat family are some of the biggest superheroes. Yeah, I don't think they're small by any means. J.K. Rowling is going to say something about the gamers who play the game, something bad to get canceled again. Oh my God, no. She'll stick to Hogwarts. Then they'll have to deal with that when the time comes. Yeah, Origins I think was underrated obviously at the time. So remember, you can play any mission in Gotham Knights with any character. It's not like they have their own story thread. It's just you play whoever you want and you go through the missions. That's it. That's all it is. They screwed me over. I had to buy a PS5 yesterday. Well, it is good to welcome you to the PlayStation Nation, but yeah, I'm sorry you had to do that. Do you think that some members of the Bat family will fill in the role of Batman as they do in the comics? It'd be a cool mechanic. Yeah, and like I said, I'd love to see like flashbacks of him teaching them. I think you can have Batman in the game even if you want him to be dead. I think you can still have him in the game through flashbacks and kind of like mourning. Mourning is in like being sad. I think you could do it. Would it be possible for WB to release the game early? No. No, it'll be October 25th. And, depending on Warner Bros. Well, let's see. For Lego Star Wars, they didn't give people that long to review it. They gave Lego Star Wars out 5 days before the game came out. So that doesn't mean necessarily they'll do the same thing for Gotham Knights, but like the reviewers, whoever gets the codes, will probably get it like October 15th through the 20th, probably safe to say, somewhere in that range. But that'll be the earliest anybody gets that game. There'll be like gameplay things. But yeah. Do you think everyone's range weapon will be batarangs with Red Hoods being guns, or will the range weapons be something specific? I think they're specific, right? Because they showed, remember when they did the gear picture for everybody like 2 years ago? I think everybody has their own. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's what I think. The guys, oh yeah, I already read that. Sorry, podcast, for arguing. It's okay. This game has a lot of ranges of opinions. Waiting for the Badinson suit in Arkham Knight. It's not happening. It's crazy that so many people are negative about this game. Feel like it's just the fact that it's not Arkham. Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, you gotta pick why you're mad at it and stick with it. But because then at least we know where you're coming from and who you are, right? Because if you're mad at it just because, or you're like a Marvel stan, or you hate DC and you're just being mad at it to be mad at it, well, we know to not take you seriously. If you're mad at it because it's not the 5th Arkham game, then again, we know not to take it seriously. You know what I mean? There's some things where it's like, I just don't. You can have your opinion. I truly don't care. I'm actually one of the most open, free speech allowers, on YouTube. I truly do believe that, at least in my circle. Well, some things I'm restricted, but some things I can't say literally because of YouTube. But I have no problems with people saying what they want to say. But at least we would know what they think. Alex, I don't think people are paying attention to this. When you look at the Batgirl and Robin playthrough, it looks way better than Red Hood Nightwing. I think Red Hood and Nightwing is old. I think it's still new. I just think the person playing it is not as good. But I don't think it was like all that bad. Do you think Wayne's worked with Court of Owls? Could we find out? Yeah, they could, I think, weave that in. I really want to play Suicide Squad, Kill It Just Sleep, because it looks a lot like Sunset Overdrive. Yeah. Sunset Overdrive was a good game. Evan, what's up? Yeah. Warner Bros. Montreal will have skipped an entire gaming generation with yeah. But Naughty Dog almost did that too with Uncharted and then The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, that it's embarrassing when you say it out loud. You know what I mean? When it's like you guys missed an entire generation. Like, it definitely doesn't sound good. And again, like these are things that we'll just never know. Like, they had at least 2 canceled games, if not more. In fact, no, they had probably at least 3 canceled games. So it's like, I want to know whose decision it was to cancel it. Why? Was it the development team's decision? Like, did it suck? Like, was it unplayable? And they let them do it for like 2 years and they couldn't come up with anything? Like, whose fault is it that we've gone 9 years? And some of those people whose fault it could be gone, could be fired or left the company. So we'll see. I don't expect this game to get delayed, no. Not after doing what they just did. Everybody welcome Evan, and everybody already did that. Yeah, the 4-player thing never turned out to be true. That's okay. I just want to be excited, but now I'm scared because of Twitter. Well, Twitter makes everybody scared, so I wouldn't blame you. Do you cosplay? No. Like, for Halloween, I dress up, but that's not cosplaying. Yeah, my wife does. Man, at least play the game before you get mad. Yeah. Well, like I said, I do think you can criticize some elements because of some reasons now. And I think you can do that for majority of games. You have to pick it carefully, and you have to be careful about how you say it. But I do think it's fair when you look at history, or you look at the talent level, or what they've done, and a little bit of what you've seen so far. I do think you can make some critiques, but you obviously can't judge the whole game. And you always have to leave that door open for, obviously, the base game to come out and just not be what you think it is. So I would say that. But I do think you can say some things before a game comes out. I do think that. God of War Ragnarok will be a good game and release in 2022. Source, trust me, bro. Yeah. I think both those are pretty easy. Easy things to say. I just don't like the gameplay in the trailer and ideas in it, like Red Hood walking on air. I'm just a little worried because mainstream entertainment recently made me lose faith in them. Yeah, I don't think that's unfair at all. Here's the counter, though. And I say this, I'm really giving away the video tomorrow, okay? I do agree with what I just said. You can pick on some things, but you can't pick on everything, right? You can't really draw a full conclusion. But on the flip side, there's not many game studios that I think warrant immediate benefit of the doubt. I don't think there's many that you go into the game and say, this is for sure. There's no reason to worry. There's no reason to even entertain critiques. The game's good. There's very few developers on the face of the earth, I think, that deserve that. I think Naughty Dog used to be one, and they butchered it with The Last of Us Part 2. I think CD Projekt Red used to be one, and they're actually 2 very good examples of companies that had so much goodwill that you could almost go into every single one of their games and say, I know this is going to be a knockout experience. And then they had those 2. Now, I'm not saying those 2 games were garbage, but those 2 games, for me specifically, shook that belief. I do not assume any Naughty Dog game is going to be like top tier anymore. I don't. I assume it'll be good in many ways, but I don't assume it's going to be like the greatest thing ever like I used to, okay? And I don't think there's Insomniac. They're definitely one I think we can trust in terms of quality. Who else? I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't want to go through like every single publisher. There's very few Xbox or Microsoft developers, honestly. The Gears team, you can expect certain things for it, but I don't know about overall quality. Insomniac is one of the only ones, at least sitting here right now, that I can think of. I guess I'd have to look at each. Deck 9 for me. It's kind of smaller team. They would be one. Are you going to do a walkthrough on the channel? I'm going to do a lot of things on Gotham Knights, but I don't know for sure. The Halo show, the last episode was so bad, and I can't believe, like, IGN liked it. I mean, if you want to see Master Chief doing what Master Chief did in that episode, be my guest, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll take you seriously. It's 11:45 for me in England. Oh, well, thank you for joining me, Logo Maker. I definitely appreciate it, and hope to see you on the next one. Now, the characters don't have their own missions. I'm telling you. That's not how it works. The characters do not have their own missions. It is odd. I mean, there has to be a fairly developed PS4, Xbox One build. Yeah, that's fair. I think there probably is a pretty developed build that they literally just canceled. Telltale needs to release Season 3 of the Batman. Well, let's let Telltale do one thing at a time so that they don't bankrupt themselves like they idiotically did last time. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know how people think, because again, like, I was never gonna main Red Hood, so like seeing him, the needle didn't really move for me. So it's hard for me to say. Sucker Punch. Here's the thing: I didn't like Second Son, so like, Ghost of Tsushima was the return to form, but they haven't been consistent forever. They've been consistent like 95% of the time. But I'd maybe give it to me. I think Sucker Punch is probably one. No, the Red Hood was pre-alpha. I think they just put it there to get feedback. Maybe. The fizzy drink going flat and losing its carbonation over time. You're gonna make me thirsty. Just saw a post from Summer Game Fest show in June. Oh, was it anything big? Should I be concerned? Did they announce anything? Respawn developer. Respawn is a good one. Yeah, I would trust Respawn. I trust Kojima to a certain extent. Like, I trust certain developers to go so far. You know what I mean? Like, you expect certain things, but overall quality, only a handful. But like, pick a developer and you can expect something. Like Kingdom Hearts, you can expect something from Tetsuya Nomura, right? You can expect actually quite a bit. But it just depends on the individual thing. Respawn's a good one, though. I didn't think of them. I do reject the notion that you have to play the game to judge it. Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think you can. And I don't think you have to play the whole thing either. Or something else, because some games have a tendency to go all in on demos and have an unfinished product on release. How will single-player Gotham Knights work? You just play it. You just play the whole thing by yourself. That's it. How do they come back from bankruptcy? Somebody, they formed like a new, I don't know how they did it. It's like a new ownership group, I think, basically is the easy answer. It's a new ownership group. They kind of dropped all the debt. All that stuff is like behind them, and they started new. Yeah, so Jose, I wanted to do, like, I played Evil Dead a little bit today, but the game keeps kicking me. The game is not working at all, so I wanted to live stream it, like, right now for this live stream. So we'll see if I, when or if. I will be playing it, so if you're a friend on whatever console, or, like, if you're a friend, by the way, this is an open message to all of you. If you have Evil Dead and you're my friend on PlayStation or whatever, I'm going to be playing it, like, today over the weekend and stuff. Only the Podcast Now account, by the way, not my personal one. So if you're friending me on Podcast Now, we can play Evil Dead together. I'll just, like, send invites out. But I like Evil Dead for when I was able to play it. It's just the game, literally, the servers are so bad you can't play it. Warner Bros. Needs to learn from Marvel's Avengers. What? Oh, well, learn, like, to not repeat? Yeah. I posted the link on your Twitter post. Oh, my God. Oh, did he announce anything, though?
To do, but I just wanted to let you guys know Summer Game Fest is definitely live. Hello.
Jeff just has a way of making me excited about things that really, most of it's not going to land. But Jeff has that ability. And I admire that quite a bit about him, honestly. Is there going to be a new DC Phantom this year? I believe so. The Arkham games and Dark Knight trilogy got me into Batman. Same. Exactly the same. Pretty sure we went into a lot of games saying it's bad before playing it to find out. Yeah. No, I agree that you can make mistakes. If you don't play the game, or if you just judge the game fully off of the stuff before the game comes out, you're bound to make plenty of mistakes. I'm just saying listen to how I said it. You can make some criticisms based off of certain things. Like, you can look, in my opinion, you can look at Gotham Knights and say, all right, factually, how it makes me feel, Nothing jumps off the page as being amazing. I've been very consistent with that. The game has always looked kind of average, maybe above average, maybe below average in some ways, but it's never looked incredible. Warner Bros. Montreal is not a top-tier studio whatsoever. I love Origins, but that team is not there anymore. It's been 9 years. They've had 2 to 3 canceled games. So again, like, do they deserve the benefit of the doubt? Not necessarily. And then you look at how the game actually looks right now. It doesn't look and that's it. That's it. I'm not saying the game's going to be garbage. And so again, you can criticize, but you have to be careful, in my opinion, how you criticize. I don't think people do it right. That's just my opinion. All right, I'm going to rifle through these, and we're going to head off. You guys rock, by the way. Thank you so much for showing up. I'm just going to rifle through. Which console? PS5. It's cross-play, so PS4 as well. And I guess any console. Since there's almost 6 months left until release, what do you think they can fix within that time frame? Like, tweaking stuff. Lighting for sure. Bugs for sure. Some, like, minor things with the actual fighting mechanics I think they could fix. But not, like, a huge... They're not going to change, like, how you fly around the world, which is what you said later on. We're on the same page. Is Evil Dead a good game? When it's operational, yes, it's a very good game. I wonder if 4-player was ever an idea. I think it was. And they probably pulled back on it. Are you excited for Jedi Survivor? I definitely am. We'll see that at Star Wars Celebration, so in 2 weeks. Hi, I just wanted to say hi. I mostly appear to your videos with Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, and Johnny Depp. Well, thank you for being here. I love making those videos. Johnny Depp stuff will return soon. Kingdom Hearts is a tough one, but I love talking about Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. I will cover a whole lot more when we're knee deep in it. When the final part of Dark Road comes out in August, I will be covering that for Kingdom Hearts, so that'll be fun. Wasn't E3 canceled? Yes, it was. Feel sad for Johnny Depp. Agreed. Next Friday, we will be talking about that once again. I love the idea of a Green Arrow game. I'm wondering if you died in Gotham Knights, will it just be like the Arkham series? Yeah, you just come back. Or maybe like they walk up to you. That'd be cool. I don't know if they would do that, though, because that would be too similar. Do I think we'll get more gameplay of Gotham Knights? Yes. I think like the last 2 months before the game comes out, we'll get a lot of gameplay. The collector's edition I love. I think it's just expensive, and I would not do it myself, but I think the statues look awesome. Jedi Fallen Order. Hope you can play as Obi-Wan like a side mission. Oh, that'd be freaking sweet. Are we getting a new trailer for Gotham Knights? Eventually, not soon. I love Gotham Knights, but I don't think the game should have been made T for teen. DC is a very mature franchise. Yeah, that's just an issue with them in general, though. Games at Summer Game Fest. I'll make a video on that specifically. I do think there's a difference between judging on whether you want to play it and judge it on how it is as a whole. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the people denounced in Kingdom Hearts for simply because of the more realism? Yeah, the takes on Kingdom Hearts are funny to me. I get, like, there's plenty of reasons to criticize Kingdom Hearts. Plenty. And I get it. Kingdom Hearts is a very divided thing where I completely understand if you don't like the game. But I'll never really, specifically even for like a franchise like that, to like the whole thing where it's like, I can't understand if somebody were to like that. I don't like that line of thinking in the first place, right? But specifically for Kingdom Hearts, it's like there's plenty of reasons to love Kingdom Hearts. It's a story of light and darkness, much like Star Wars. Gotham Knights is next gen only now. Yep, I'll be streaming the Xbox Bethesda showcase. Do you think we'll see any... This was fun, man. Glad I caught the tail end of the stream. Well, thank you for being here. I think Spider-Man takes the year off, honestly. I don't know if we'll see Spider-Man at all this year. That's just my opinion. What do you think about online on Gotham Knights? I just hope the servers work, which Evil Dead is realizing it's an issue. Sonic Frontiers looks good. I'm excited for it. Obviously, we need to see like gameplay. It's like 5 o'clock for me. It's late here. Doesn't the combat remind you of Spider-Man PS4? A little bit, but it actually, again, reminds me more of Guardians. More Guardians than Spider-Man. Or Avengers. Donald will be a real duck in Kingdom Hearts 4. Oh my god, that'll be incredible. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you. as always, every Friday I try to do a live stream. Next Friday we'll be back into the Johnny Depp trial. I know not everybody's into that trial, but that's what I'll be live streaming on Friday. More Gotham Knights videos. I got one going up, I believe, tomorrow. And then I have one other idea that'll go up early next week. So videos every day, leaks, rumors, news, opinions. And, we'll be going back to the Johnny Depp stuff on Monday and go from there. So I want to thank you all for being here. If you haven't followed me on Twitter or my second channel, all that stuff is in the description if you guys want to just drop a quick follow or a quick subscribe there. We have Patreon. We have YouTube memberships. If you want to throw us a couple bucks every month, you get exclusive stuff back. That's pretty much it. That's all I got. That's my, That's my petition to you to support us everywhere humanly possible. But no, thank you all for watching. Have an awesome weekend. We'll talk Gotham Knights for sure. Again, once we get closer, like October, will most likely just be Gotham Knights month. So we'll do that very soon, all right? So thank you all for watching. We'll see you all on the next video.